And welcome. Welcome to the MedTech Talent Accelerator's information session. My name is Adnan Saeed. I'm the administrative director of this MedTech Talent Accelerator program. So today is an information session where we'll talk about what you can expect or anticipate in considering applying to our program for our, and specifically this is for the ExperienceMedTech program, which is a training and internship program. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and we're going to go through a bit of a slide deck where I can walk you through what the program is about. And once I do that, you will then have an option to ask me any questions and things like that you may have. So feel free to do that. You can put in questions as you go in the chat function. Do note that I may not get to it right away. I might just pause and wait for till we reach the end, and then I'll address those questions. So you can definitely start populating that if you have questions there. Okay, so just give me a second. I'm just going to be sharing my screen, and then we can get going. All right. So just to see that everyone's listening, can you all see my screen? If I can get a reply in the chat, that'd be great. To know that you're all able to see my screen. Okay, perfect. And I hope you're able to hear me clearly as well. Awesome. So to start off, I just want to say, please, as I go through this presentation, I request you to keep your mics on mute and your videos turned off because this is being live streamed. Once I finish the information session, I'll turn off the live stream, and then you can turn on your cameras and ask me questions on mic and all of that. No problem. Right, so this is the MedTech Talent Accelerator, and I just want to acknowledge our new universities that have joined our program. This MedTech Talent Accelerator launched at Ryerson and McGill about 2.5 years ago, and now we are running a pilot program with the University of Calgary's students, Dalhousie University students, as well as UBC students. So there are some, because it is a pilot, there will be some differences between how we're running this program within at the different sites. I will point those out to you during this information session. All right, and again, my name is Adnan Saeed, and welcome, and thank you so much for your interest in our program. So I'll start with a land acknowledgement. So Toronto is in the dish with one spoon territory. This is where our university is located, where I'm located right now and giving this presentation. The dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the treaty and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. And this is the way which we're looking to carry ourselves. So let's get into it. So what is the MedTech Talent Accelerator? So we're an industry-focused training, talent attraction, training, and transition program. So we're focused on what we call the medical technology industry. We are a partnership, and there are new members missing in this text, but we will add that. But we're a partnership right now between 5 universities, as you can see at the logos at the bottom, as well as an incubator called the Biomedical Zone. And we're also partnered with MedTech Canada, which is the largest industry association for medical technology companies here in Canada. So what do I mean when I say industry? I want to kind of separate that from what we say as disciplines. As you all are in a university setting, you're likely in a faculty and you're in a program. So normally the way, at least I can speak to the university I'm at, we're set up as disciplines. So we have a faculty of engineering, which is a discipline. We have a faculty of science, which is a discipline. And then, we have departments under them, and we have programs under them in which, students like yourselves enroll and get trained on. So when I say discipline, I mean, our post-secondary institutions, we are training students to become disciplinary experts at different levels, at an undergraduate level, so more of a generalist, then, and specializing in that discipline as a master's or PhD student. And then, I consider our professors, academic experts in their discipline. So that's what I mean by discipline. Now, the goal of our program is to transition you. So when you go out into the economy and you think about, careers in the economy other than, in academia, but even academia is part of an industry. So they're grouped as businesses are as industries. So we have like what we focus on, the medical technology industry, there's the IT tech industry, there's financial services industry, and others. And if you see how businesses have organized themselves as, Chamber of Commerce geographically is one way, and then the other way is through this quote unquote, what I call industry. Just like that, we have an industry association that's formed of medical technology businesses, which is called MedTech Canada, who we partner with. So our goal in our program is, transition you from being, developing your expertise in the discipline to transitioning you towards a career in the medical technology industry. So how do we fit in your graduate program? So this is kind of the lay of, what our MedTech Talent Accelerator offers as programs and activities. And just want to kind of lay it out kind of with your graduate program and how we fit and where you can think of connecting with us and applying to us and being part of our program. So one, we are not a degree granting program in any way. If you can imagine, you've attended like a career center workshop on resumes, or, these are called co-curricular programs. So they're not linked to your your degree completion in any way. They're layered on top of that to enrich your experience or get you interested in a certain activity or program. So we are a co-curricular program. So we are not linked to you fulfilling your requirements for your graduate program. That's completely separate. So the MedTech Talent Accelerator runs these two bubbles, and we'll be running these for the next year in all our locations. So one is called, excuse me, I do have a cough, so you'll see me do this a few times. So one is called ExperienceMedTech. So here, what we do is we run activities to make students like yourselves make you more aware of what the MedTech industry is about. And so these innovation seminars we run are usually are led by an industry leader who's looking to share some key insights about the industry with new talent like yourselves who are thinking about, considering a career in this industry. So we run these at least, we've run these at least once a month. We've done that. So we have our next ones coming up, which will, again, if you follow our LinkedIn page, you'll be made aware of that. We also record these. So if there's anything, any seminar you'd like to go back on, we do record and house these on our website, and it's freely available for you to look at. So please do consider looking at that. If you're interested in learning more about what the MedTech industry is about by the MedTech leaders themselves. So the other activity that we do, and this is also an encouragement for you to consider applying to it. So we're running our next hackathon. We run one hackathon a year. It is open to all of our university sites, and we'll be running it from November 1st to November 19th. You should have received, if you've received this info session information, you should have received that hack MedTech information as well. If you haven't, please get in touch with us and we can send you the link for it. So please consider applying to it. Please consider joining that hackathon. So basically the idea with ExperienceMedTech then is that we're looking to create a space for you to learn more about the medical technology industry and also gain some experiences in it through a hackathon type setting, for example. And this is open to your graduate program while you're doing your coursework and your research. So you can attend these sessions you can attend these sessions while you're at whatever stage of your graduate program. The one that we're talking about today is called ExperienceMedTech. And so this is basically our industry context training and internship program that we run. This, you're only open to applying to us as you're in your final year and you have a sense of, when will you be done your bench work and when you'll be starting to do your thesis writing. That's when you're eligible to apply to us. And how does this program work? So in the way it works is that, a key thing that the industry has told us is, there's a significant amount of industry knowledge that is needed to navigate a career in the medtech industry. And what do I mean by industry knowledge? I mean that, the way the medtech business operates, the way industry does research and development towards commercialization and getting their products in the healthcare system. These are very structured contents of knowledge that is really important for new talent to understand, so that you can then navigate to say, where do you fit in? Do you fit in R&D? Do you want to be on the operations side? Do you want to be on the business development side? Where do you fit in? Where do you want to fit in the industry? So you need to understand, how the industry is structured. So we have online courses, they're self-paced, that we make available to everybody who applies to our ExperienceMedTech program, and they're eligible. We will then make that training available for you, and you will earn a few badges for getting through MedTech Business, MedTech R&D, and we've added one on professional development, and we have a new one that we're just about to launch, which is focused on giving you a virtual clinical immersion training experience as well. So these are trainings really, look at this training as, industry would like you to have this contextual knowledge before you show up to their door for a job, so that, they can see that you have a sense of, what they do, what business they're in, what are they trying to do. You'll have a better sense and context for that. And that's the purpose of this. We do also include a job shadow, but the way we do these job shadows is actually integrated with an internship. So I'll talk about the internship next. So the way we do internships is we have a number of industry partners that work with us in looking at our candidates and considering them for internship opportunities that they have in their business. So the model we have is, we're not a model where, we ask our employer partners for a job posting and then we put it up, and then, you have to go in and apply for each job posting that shows up, and then be considered for it. We've kind of flipped the model. So through this call for applications, we're requesting you to apply to us. And if you're eligible, then we place you in what I call our talent bank. And we make that talent bank available to our employer partners. And we say, please consider all of you as candidates for any internship opportunity they have. So they're able to then review. So this is where, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but your resume is critical in this, because this is your basically what they look at in seeing, is there an internship where this candidate can fit what I'm looking to do. So in that model, the way we work is, we receive calls, we run these call for applications with students. We then populate a talent bank where you're all available to our employer partners to be considered. We facilitate the interviews between you and the employer, and then help you get the internship secured. And then once it's secured, we help our employer partner apply for any wage subsidy that they may be eligible for. So it's low cost on them. But nonetheless, there's a key asterisk here. I do want to be very clear. We do not facilitate unpaid internships. We only facilitate paid internships. And the minimum is something we look at our wage subsidy providers. And the minimum at the moment for a 4-month internship is $10,000. So that is the level at which, as a minimum, we look to facilitate an internship. There are cases where an employer may look to pay an additional amount on top of that, but that's up to each employer as they consider a candidate. So the minimum you can expect if you get an internship offer from us, an interview from us, request, and then you do the interview, and then the offer you may get from us will very likely have that amount of salary there for the 4-month internship. So it's really important that you're okay with this amount of salary in applying to us. It will be rare that would be, it may be higher than that, but that is possible. But just wanting to, just manage expectations up front and saying, that's really what you need to look to expect in getting an internship through our program. And the internship takes place as you're in your final year of your final term of your program. As you're doing your thesis writing, you need to be available full-time for such an internship. And then I'll go through, the more details in a sec. So that's basically how we run our MedTech Talent Accelerator program. And the goal is that, we can attract, train, and transition new talent in a seamless way into the Canadian medical technology industry. So this slide is just, as more of a sampling of, these are a number of companies that have worked with us over the last 2.5 years. And these are the kinds of roles that we've actually placed students into with such companies. Just to kind of give you a rough idea of, the kind of internship positions you may be requested an interview for. All right. So this next slide is really, I wanted to just paint a bit more of a deeper picture for you and what we're calling these industry readiness training that we're providing. And I want to be very clear, this is training we've really consulted industry on in developing and providing to you. So I want to request that you take this as if you apply to us and are eligible, please consider completing this training. This training is endorsed by MedTech Canada, and you'll be receiving a badge once you complete this. It is self-paced, so it isn't something that you need to show up for lectures for. This is all set up in our learning management system where you can do this on your own time when you're available. It is really something that we've crafted with our industry partners in making this available to you. So please do look at this. So now eligibility. So here's where we're going to get into really the specifics here on what who's eligible and who can apply at which university and things like that. So the first bullet point is really important from your university perspective. So whichever university you're on. So if you're at Ryerson or McGill University, we're at the moment intaking students from a wide variety of MedTech related programs. So you could be in any engineering discipline or any science discipline or related discipline, and you're interested in being considered in our program, you're eligible to apply. You need to be a graduate student in your final year. Okay. In our pilot with the University of Calgary, Dalhousie, and UBC, the students that are eligible are only the biomedical engineering graduate students. So this is our initial call for applications to these universities, and as a pilot, we're starting small. We want to build one step at a time. So very clearly, if you're at University of Calgary, I'm going to repeat this just so that we're very clear. At University of Calgary, Dalhousie, and UBC, the eligible students that can apply to our MedTech Talent Accelerator are the biomedical engineering graduate students. So that's the first eligibility. The second one is that this is related to where you are in your graduate program. So you have to have completed your course requirements and your research, and you need to be in the writing phase of your thesis in any of these following dates. And this is very critical for us. This isn't something that we're looking. It's really important for us that you verify this and you're in agreement on this with your supervisor in applying to us, with your thesis supervisor. So let's just go through these dates. So in terms of December 31st, 2021, so this means, you know, you're in your thesis writing phase, which you're able to do in the evenings or weekends, and you're able to take on a full-time R&D internship starting Jan 2nd onwards for 4 months or 8 months. And then the same thing, similar pattern goes for the April 30th call for applications, so May 1st call for applications, or the September 1st one. At the moment, you know, especially for the September 1st one, I do want to say, you know, there is room for you to, you know, adjust in the future. So, you know, don't, if you're especially looking to, you know, be considered for September, you know, I understand how research works. I myself hold a master's in microbiology. It was thesis-based work. I can understand, you know, timelines can change, and they can need adjustment. And, you know, what you apply with upfront has to be, you know, something you confirm with your supervisor as being doable. And then if there's any change to when you're available, you know, we'll ask you to, you know, contact us and let us know, and we can make that adjustment on your application once you're eligible. Okay, so there is room to adjust this after if there is extenuating circumstances or changes in timelines in your master's or PhD programs. So I hope that's clear. I do have a question. So do we have to be writing throughout, or can we? You can. It's just what's important. What's important in as a graduate student is for us is that you need to be a current graduate student for you while during the internship period. If you've become a new graduate and you're not enrolled in your program in that term, then we are not able to facilitate an internship for you. So just flagging that, and we can get into this more in the Q&A to further clarify. So now in terms of, you know, what is our timelines? So our student call for applications, it's due on November 1st. It's a Google form that we have here. I don't want to click it. It might mess up my presentation right now, but I will go through what you need to do in it in the next slide. And then the way we do this is as soon as you apply to us, we go through a vetting process to make sure you're eligible within 15 days. And within 15 days, we'll come back to you. We'll likely come back to you like a week later to say, we saw your resume, and if there's any corrections we need you to make, we will come back to you within this 15-day period for you to do that and resubmit your resume to us. November 15th is where we aim to release our training program to you so that you can go into our learning management system and start doing the training. Again, it is self-paced, and it needs to be something you take initiative and complete. And you'll have about 2-month window for you to complete that training and earn the badges that we have that are endorsed by MedTech Canada. And then in terms of the internship portion, so that's the training. So as I said to you, the MedTech Talent Accelerator is a training and transition program for new talent. So this training is really important. This is what we're also indicating to our employer partners is that, as an industry ready talent that you're being considered as you're being interviewed and others through our program, this context training about the industry is critical. This will help you do well in the interviews we may facilitate for you. So it's really important you look to complete this and gain this knowledge that's needed to navigate the industry. So in terms of how the internship placement works, so the way this works is, you give us your resume. We make this available by November 15th to our employer partners. We have at least about 100 to 200 plus companies we send this out to on a regular basis. Based on their review of the applicants in our talent pool, they request one-on-one interviews with candidates. So what does that look like for you? So you will apply to us. Then you may get an email between November 1st and November 15th to fix your resume. Then November 15th, you will get access to the training, and then while you're doing the training, you will get periodic email. You may get an email from us saying, time sensitive, company wants to interview for this internship, and the internship description will be in the text of that email. And then you have to respond in a form and say, are you available on the dates that the company is available on? And then you would respond. As you respond and say yes, then we issue a calendar invite to you for that specific internship opportunity. And then we're not part of the interview. It would be between you and the employer. You would do the interview, and then we follow up with the employer to see if they want to select you for an internship or not. If the employer says yes, then we send them a draft offer letter that we use. The employer signs it, our program then verifies it's all okay, and then we sign it. And then we present a formal offer of internship to you to consider. And at that point, we're looking to seal the deal. So if you say yes, then the internship is yours. And then you're able to, then you're secured as an intern. You get pulled off for a talent list because you have an internship through us now. And then we work with the employer to do the wage subsidy process so that they can reduce the cost of internship for themselves. And there are sometimes we need help from you, the student, in doing this, actually all the time, which is in the offer letter we'll give to you that, if there's any paperwork where we need student input, you will be asked to help there in putting that wage subsidy paperwork together to get the wage subsidy. All right, so that's roughly the timeline at the moment. And again, given that you may be looking for an internship for January or May or September, what we found is employers hire at very different times. Like this, an employer will hire in the next month for a January internship, and their employers are already right now in the MedTech industry looking at May interns and looking at interviewing them for May. And then maybe somebody wants to look at taking you on at September as well. So they vary as to when they're looking to take on interns or secure interns. So as you enroll with us, you may not. So if you're, for example, enrolling for like the September 2022 internship process, you may not hear from us for interviews for a couple of months or maybe 3-4 months because the employers that we're working with, they're not ready to look at candidates for that time frame yet. And once it's closer, you may get emails from us about interview requests. Okay, so that's the timeline. And then the lastly, what I want to spend on, how do you prepare your application? So through this process, you've looked at the eligibility, and you say you're eligible. You've gone through, and the first thing you do as you prepare your application is really, you really have to sit and talk to your supervisor and talk to them about looking to do an internship through our program, and then look to have a form that we have available. I'll open this one up just to walk you through it. It's a PDF form. You need to simply be able to put your information in, your supervisor's information, and an estimated month, year of graduation, and then check mark, which round of internships you would be eligible for, and then your supervisor and you need to sign off on this. This is essential. This is absolutely essential for you to be considered eligible for our program. If we don't see this signed off, you're immediately not seen as eligible. So please, this is very critical, and I would take this as your first step in applying to us. Please have this secured with your supervisor. So once you have that, the second piece is your resume. So this is something that I want to highlight to you. Really, this is what we're presenting to our employer partners about you, as to what skills and talent you have. And what are you looking, and what are the experiences you have? Each of the universities that are part of our program, I'm sure you have incredible career centers, and there's some incredible career center staff that really are there to support you in putting forward the best resume possible of yourself, for yourself. So please, between now and the deadline, then please connect with your career center, get them to look at your resume, get them to give you feedback, and then help and get it improved as much as you can as you submit to our application process. This is really important. We have in the past rejected candidates because we had requested a revision of the resumes and they were not able to give us a quality of a resume that we needed to put forward. You're the face of our program to our employer partners. We really need your resumes to not have typos, to be very consistent in formatting. Use the STAR method, it's called, for describing your what you've done in a role and what you accomplished and things like that. And I'm not a career consultant. I won't. It's not my space. So I strongly encourage you to connect with your career consultant in your university to look at your resumes before you submit it to us. One thing very critical, this is something very, very unique about our program. In general, when you think of a resume, you're like, oh, I need to put down my contact information and my phone number so they can reach me. And we're specifically asking you to remove this. We do share our talent bank quite widely. And given, this is personal and private information, we cannot have this information on your resume once we're circulating. If there's any employer that wants to connect with you, we have a very streamlined process for them to do that through us. So we do not need, and we absolutely require you to remove your home address, your email, or your phone number, anything that can, be to personally locate you, because we do put this out quite widely. And in terms of what you want to put down as city, you can write Toronto, Ontario, for example, or Calgary, Alberta, as your instead of a full address. One other key thing that came out of industry conversations that I just want to point out, this is not something you need to act on if you don't want to, but just want to highlight, as you apply to us, please consider highlighting your project management knowledge and experience. You're all doing thesis work likely, and you're already doing a project. That means you're managing a project because you've set up goals and you had a proposal, and then you've kind of done the experimentation, and you're kind of on a path from a start of a project to an end of a project. So you do have that lived experience of doing this in your graduate programs. Please do make an attempt to articulate that in a way for the industry partners, because that seems to be an important element for industry to look at. So just highlighting that. And lastly, I do want to say, there are, we call a smaller document a resume, a much larger one with all your publications and everything, a CV. So we're really looking for a very crisp 2-page maximum resume is what I would recommend. And really focused on the medical technology industry and highlighting the skill sets and talent and experience you have for that. So that's the resume. And please, I'm going to say this one more time just to kind of drive the point home. Please, if you can, make the time, connect with your university's career center to have your resume reviewed before you submit it to us. Thank you. And then the third item that you need to prepare, and again, these are elements we're asking you to prepare before you pop open that Google form where you go in and submit an application to us. So these are the 5 items that we ask that you work on in advance before you go in to hit submit. So the third one is really, we've replaced the long cover letter that's usually required for job postings. We've replaced it as, a pitch yourself 650 character limit description that we want you to provide. And again, you're not applying for a specific job posting, so I would keep it at the industry level. Why do you want to work in the medtech industry, and what do you bring to the table in being considered as a candidate for the medtech industry? So this helps us, show to our partners a writing sample from you in showing that to them, and it also gives them a quick look at, as they look at our talent bank, a quick look at what is the student looking to get out of this in being considered for an internship for this program. So please, that's 650 characters. It's a very strict limit. We've limited it in the Google form that you can't be more than that. So please don't do this on the fly. I would say, do a first draft and then, maybe look at it on a second day and then edit it and finalize it and then put it together for us. And then the fourth item that we have, so this is a way that we wanted to actually put you in front of the employer in an enriched way to be that the employer can actually see you in a video format. And then it also helps employers consider candidates from a pre-screening process where they can see you respond to an interview question that can help them, further gauge their interest in wanting to interview you further, so that they don't waste your time or their time in scheduling interviews and doing these interviews. So what we have here is it's a behavioral question. It's a 1-minute video we're asking you to record. This has to be a raw video. You can open your phone and hit record is what we want. There shouldn't be any edits or like any edits or graphics put in and anything like that. If they are, we will ask you to actually remove them, just to make sure that everybody's able to produce put together a similar video to each other. So so it's a 1-minute video, and we ask you to briefly introduce yourself and answer the following question. If your manager asks you to complete or do a task project, you don't know how to do it, what do you do? And then, this is a very common interview question of that companies ask. So we want you to introduce yourself and capture this in this 1-minute video. And again, if the video is longer than 1 minute, again, that's not eligible for us. We will need you to shorten that to 1 minute, as all the other candidates will. And then the last piece is quite simple. It's going to your university's registrar's platform, where you can download your unofficial transcript and provide that to us. This is for us to verify that you have completed your coursework, you are towards your final year of your degree. In doing that, we do not share your transcript with the employer partners. So this is only for administrative eligibility purposes. It does not get put in front of anybody beyond our administrative staff that are looking at this. Okay, so the things that we put in front of the employer for each of our candidates is the resume, the pitch yourself, and your behavioral question. And then we also give them a little bit of information, what is the program you're in, when are you available to do the internship. So we give that information to them as well. Okay, so that's really how you prepare for the application. So with that, I think that kind of concludes what I wanted to present to you, so that you're able to see what this program is about. And if you gave me a second, I'd like to just open this up, and then we can get into questions. I'm just having difficulty stopping sharing of my platform. Give me a second. I think I just got kicked out. Are you able to hear me? If someone can use a...
Yes, we can.
You can hear me? Okay. It's just my Zoom is completely frozen out. So are you able to still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen? Okay, sorry about that. So I'm just trying to get out.
Do you want to stop the live streaming now? Or?
Yeah, if you could do that, Mary Susan. I'll unfortunately, if you give me a minute, I'm going to have to quit and come back into the Zoom because my computer is completely frozen. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Am I still here? Yes, I am. That means my Zoom's not ended. All right.